Well, welcome everyone to the XAFer Community Stand-Up. We do this the second Thursday of every month. We are really excited for today's meetup. Manuel will be showing us the Xenial frameworks, and it has been a while, and he has a lot of great things. So please stay tuned. This will be a great session. As always, I want to encourage everyone to join our Facebook group. I think that we are already 1,600 members. In the LinkedIn, joins the XAF developers group. Follow XAF on Twitter, or basically all the new things that is happening in the framework is being published there. For example, right now in 21.2.5, you see that we already have the edit and the new actions. We have the Killer channel that Manuel created, where still we have a lot of questions and a lot of discussions there. I want to point out to, I believe this is Dom, who created a new blog about XAF. So I really always really happy when I see these things happen, community sharing more knowledge, making more articles, making a video. So this makes our community grow. So thanks for the blog, Dom, and please feel free to come check it out. He's offering trainings, he's offering a way so everyone can showcase their work. So yeah, happy with that. As always, support center, read all the tickets, go for it. It has a lot of good knowledge there. And today we're going to be talking about the Xenial framework. So if you want to later research a little bit, we have a few videos about layout builder, model builders, the overview of the framework as all, but I'm pretty sure Manuel will give us today a complete walkthrough from beginning to end. So feel free to ask as many questions as you have. We have 2 hours, so Manuel, the stage is yours. I'm going to stop sharing and we can get on the presentation.
Hello, friends. I'm Manuel. I'm not sure if everybody knows me. I'm a DevExpress MVP since a lot of years right now. I am heavily working on Xenial the last couple of years, and it's like a battle-tested framework on top of XAF. So I just jump into it, starting sharing my screen, and hope nothing dies on me. So let's get started. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay, that's fine. So let's get into it really quick. I just showing a couple of slides. Xenial is basically the product from working with XAF over the last couple of years or 10 years, and try to cover up some problems I encountered with working with XAF when your project gets larger, or you're collaborating with more developers on a XAF application. It doesn't mean you can't do it on with basic ingredients XAF provides, but Xenial tries to mitigate some of the problems that you can occur when you're working with a larger team base on a XAF application. So what does it mean? It just means hostile, and it does mean it doesn't get into your way. So basically, it's designed to jump in wherever you have a problem, or at least there is no deployment issues, or doesn't introduce new dependency traps you might get into. Now with .NET 6 or .NET 5 and .NET Core and all that stuff, it's getting better, but it doesn't get into your way, just helps you to get the job done. As said, it's a framework around XAF. It's highly modular. If you worked ever again with ASP.NET Core, you notice it's like you only pay for the bits you are you want to use. You don't pay any performance costs or something like this on top of what you don't want to use. So you pick and choose, but you also can get the full experience just at one line of code, and then you're done and you get everything of Xenial. And as I said, parts of Xenial are beta tested for over 10 years and grown over the couple of times. So getting into the major parts of Xenial, I rewrote this slide, I think, in the last 3 years, like 4 times. And now the biggest change in the last generation is source generators. And I'm getting into source generators in a little bit, but it's basically allowing Xenial to inspect your code and generating code that eliminates a lot of boilerplate or reflection code that otherwise would hit your performance when writing XAF applications or XPO applications. Then there's a bunch of dev tools around all of that, these like small deployment tools, helpers to deploy your application via IIS and stuff like this. Then there's the core framework where I see there is like a benefit where XAF itself falls a little bit flat. And there's a whole bunch of editor modules and other business modules that help you getting your application out quicker. The last 2 parts I'm not demoing today. It's just too much to go through. But for example, there are editors for labels, for token editors, WebView 2, for example, if you need to embed a web page into your XF web application, and so on and so forth. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So then let's jump right into Xenial source generators. Source generators are a rather new feature of the .NET SDK or Roslyn compiler platform. It started with .NET 5, I guess, and it allows package developers or really anybody to write code that can inspect the source code of a project and emit additional code into a user's project. And what this allows is, like, we can statically analyze the code of a project and emit code based on patterns. So the neat thing about this is it is like reflection, but without the runtime cost of reflection. So basically, if you, for example, mark a class with an attribute, so it's declared as a business object, for example, it doesn't need to pay the cost at runtime to be inspected and looked up, is this kind of object, or is this class part of your main is this part of the business domain, for example, so it gets persisted to a database. The second thing is it allows to build some kinds of patterns and a tool belt for easier, or at least easier is hard to, is a hard term. It allows at least to generate code that follows a specific pattern, so you can IntelliSense through it and have some kind of compiler safety if you change, for example, something. About Xenial framework, we get into this. As I said, it's modular. You don't pay for the cost you don't use, and there's two sides of the medals. As I told you, if you are an expert in XAF, there's a lot of stuff you might think be interested. So you pick and choose your small bit of it, or if you're an XAF newbie, just get everything and you will be happy as well. Thing is, it's distributed only via NuGet. That's always the main idea behind Xenial. It doesn't get into your way. There are no installers, no hassle, no something like this. Just help me getting my stuff done, and we're through it. So I talked a little bit about source generators and framework, and both of them are like interconnected with each other. You don't need to use source generators to use Xenial framework, but of course, it's like Xenial source generators helps you to get the best out of both worlds, I guess. And basically, there are three things I want to cover real quick. For framework, it's like model builders is the ability to apply attributes to business objects and business classes at runtime. So it's like a DSL and helping you applying attributes like validation rules or captions or image names or all the glorious attributes we know and love from XAF, but apply them at a later stage. And that helps, for example, if you want to split up domain specific code where you say, okay, we don't want XAF to be a reference inside our domain model because we want to keep it clean, or we have a more modular approach where we say, okay, we have customer A and now caption is A, and with customer B and now caption is B, in two different assemblies. Like it's more a modular plugin based approach. Layout builders and column builders I am going into in a really in-depth version. Basically, what this allows you is to define and write layouts or detail views and columns or list views totally in code without the need for a model builder or the XAFer altogether. And the reason why I think this is valuable is because they are focused on one small thing. It's not baked into one big file like the XAFer file. So it's easier to reason about if your project is growing and growing. For example, in my in one of my last companies was like we had like 25,000 business objects. Get an overhead in one big XAML file that would be megabytes and megabytes large. So we decided to split them up and do it in code. Page objects is something I will cover maybe in a future video or a future stand-up. It's the same thing because we can now inspect your code. We can generate code that helps you testing with functional integration tests. Okay, then I think it's time for demo, deep dive. So let me, can you see everything so far?
Yes, everything looks fine, Manuel.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay. So let me just real quick look. Okay. I just created for the sake of time a new project. As you can see, it's 2133, which is totally fucked up and wrong. So let me just real quick do a search and replace here real quick. I think it's 4 right now. replace all. Okay, so let's save that and reopen that real quick. Community stand-up. There's one thing, or at least if you want to follow along with the documentation, you can go to docs.xenial.io. So everything I'm currently showing is online. So the new package versions are out there, and I hope it's rather well documented. So if you want to follow along, you can go through the documentation as well. The only thing that doesn't currently work is the Blazor demo, which died on me a couple of hours ago or something like this. But it will be up in, I think, tomorrow. So good. Then let's start with let's rebuild this. And I'm today focusing on WinForms, but this it works with Blazor as well. So just for the sake of time, where's my rebuild button? Just for the sake of time, I'm only focusing on WinForms today. So let's grab some code. There it is. There it is. So okay, let's start up that real quick. No, what's the problem? That's the problem
the problem is that it's demo time, and you know when it's demo time,
it's demo time, and so and computer says chill a little bit.
Yeah, let's everyone close our eyes so it doesn't get shy.
Oh damn! Is this slow? But what I told you about my new machine. Okay. Let's watch Task Manager do its thing. Boy, it's slowing down.
And that's the physical hardware, right? I mean, you're not virtualizing your machine.
No, it's not virtualized. If I virtualize it, it will burn down.
Yeah, sometimes it happens to me because I virtualize my. I mean, I'm running Linux actually.
Why it's eating 2 gigs of RAM? Is this the right one? I have no idea. So let's really do a quick. I think I have to restart this. Let's just start it up so we can get a quick look how it's looking. Any questions so far about model builders and stuff like this? Are people here in the room that never saw model builders so far?
Well, like in the chat, no one have told anything about the model builders, but if you want to show them, it would be good. Actually, I think it's like if you can go.
I will get into them anyway. Yeah. It's just I will start with the neat stuff first, because model builders is a nice technology, but I don't see it as valuable anymore as I did a couple of years ago, because now XAF, or at least the core of XAF, is .NET Standard. So you don't have the problem anymore when you, for example, want to use your domain object in a Xamarin project, for example.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was kind of the same, because we recompiled developer express source code to be compatible with
Xamarin,
but we did it when, like, a really long time ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, where there was no other way to do it. It's like, and it was really a pain. I know that for sure.
Can I move the? Oh, I can move that to the other screen. Okay, so then basically we had an empty application, and I just copied a bunch of codes, which is basically a personal address. So it's nothing too fancy, and I think I need to do this way. Okay, that looks fine to me. So basically we have a person with after construction, first name, address, and so forth. So let me just rename this to person real quick, and just start it, so we get a quick look what XAF is going to generate for us on the fly. Okay, so we have a person here with address, first name, last name, blah, and if you create a new person, it looks like this. So basically that's fine, and now you could jump in and open the model editor and define the layout in the model editor, like drag and dropping stuff and doing the visual designer thing, like going to the layout, customizing the layout, and doing all that kind of stuff. But in Xenial, we don't have to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm installing Xenial. It should be online on nougat.org, and we don't need to include pre-releases, so we just include Xenial. Current version is 0.3.1, so we're just going to install this. That's it. Yeah, and as stated in the documentation, we just need to tell XAF that we want to use that extension. So we need to override the add generator, update this code, and add that line of code. So just going to do this right now. Go to the module. No, this is normally not overwritten, so we'll override add generator updaters. Updaters use, I said updaters use DTV layout. And now we can start to use them. So basically what we need to do, and I am going the quick route right now because there are several options you can apply a layout. Basically, everything you need to do is to tell Xenial which method to use when building layouts. So it's the detail view. No, it's detail view. No, it's layout will. I'm detail view layout builder. Okay. And normally now it would be fine to add a method, a static method in this class to define the layout static that just returns a layout. The layout is located in Xenial framework space, item space, and it needs to be called build layout. But I'm skipping this in the sake of time, and I'm going to add a new class, which is a layout builder. So it's a person layout builder. And it's a public class that derives from layout builder of person. So make sure to use the right person, and everything we need to tell to Xenial right now is, okay, this is the layout builder I want to. This is the wrong namespace. Should be the same. So we tell Xenial, use this builder and just say, okay, we have a method build layout that returns a layout.
¿Quieres uno o dos? ¿Quieres uno o dos?
Okay. So let's start. So basically, everything we told Xenial right now is, okay, there's a layout, and normally now it should be empty. When we start the application, nothing. We should see an empty person detail view, because we told the framework there is no, don't display anything, because it's just an empty layout. Okay, we have a list view, and now we have an empty application or an empty detail view. And if you look at that code in the model editor, you clearly can see it just it is an empty layout just with a main node, nothing fancy. Of course, there are some items in there, but the layout is empty. So no, not restart. Okay, because we are deriving from layout builder, and we can use some cool new features from C#, we can be here. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't matter. We can use initial as a syntax to fill that layout, for example, with a property editor. And the property editor, for example, accepts a lambda expression, for example, email, that will translate to which will translate that string into a format that the editor knows. Okay, this is a string editor, and it's called email. So basically, it's transforming the lambda expression into a string. So let's start it up real quick. Wherever it is. There it is. If we add new, we have just the email property editor. So basically, we're good to go to start. But that's really, 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 really lame to use. So basically, that's where I jump in right now with the source generators, because there's one problem with this kind of declaration is this needs to be evaluated at runtime. And we know everything about the email property upfront. So basically, we can use source generators to help us out. So just we are going to add a NuGet package and add Xenial framework generators. And set. Okay. And all we need to do is to mark this class as partial. And now there's one really important step. After we install the package, we can see under the analyzers, at least if you're in Visual Studio 19.6 or later, you can see we're now are having here the Xenial framework generators node. The only thing we need to do after we install the package is to restart Visual Studio, because generators are loaded up at the start of the solution, so they don't get picked up by IntelliSense in the first. Any questions so far?
Yes, Manuel, we have a question in the chat from a dear friend of the community, which is JP. Basically, he's asking like if Xenial is the version of Xenial is dependent on the version of XAF or the universal license.
Yeah, currently it is. Normally, I try to keep up with the latest version of XAF, but it isn't that hard on the dependency side. The only thing is I keep some private feeds for special for customers if they are on an older version. The latest versions published from Xenial are the latest that DevExpress provides. So everything on NuGet is the latest version of
Yeah, and I have another question
XAF.
from my side. Actually, Manuel, is like, is Xenial built automatically against the DevExpress version that if,
yes,
for example, if yesterday
yes,
at night
it is automatic.
new version, will we have it when we will have Xenial version that match with that DevExpress version?
Yeah, if DevExpress releases a new version, it's normally a couple of days until the next version gets live. It is automatically, but if you need an older version, I need to jump in and say, okay, we need to build for this or a build for that. Does
Great.
this answer the question?
Yes, thanks so much.
Yeah, yeah, but that's under paid support. So, okay, good. We installed the Xenial framework, and now the neat thing is we declared this as a partial class, and the reason why we need to declare it as a partial class is because now source generators kick in and generate code on our behalf. But we only can add source. We can't manipulate source. We just can add source files based on your source. And if I want to bring something in scope for this particular scenario, you need to mark it as partial. It's like in WinForms where you have your code behind and your code. It's the same thing around, but the code behind is more like it's helping you define your source code. So instead of writing property editor lambda expression email, now we have a class that's generated in the background. It's called editor. An editor is basically a collection of all properties that are defined in person, in the class person. And now we have everything. Okay, there are some properties that shouldn't be here, but for example, email. And now we have exactly the same procedure as before. It just generates a string layout property editor item. As you can see, I don't have Zoom it installed, but that it knows email is a string. And now I can do all kind of stuff around this. So if we start it again, then hopefully we see the same screen as before.
Manuel, I have another question. Basically, is what are the requirements on the studio? Because source generator, they don't work with every version of the studio.
Yes,
And
basically,
if you can walk us through to the little details about the requirements in the studio, the requirements on the CS project, because I guess you have to have
yes.
a specific version of the C# language running. So,
okay.
I mean, you don't have to do it right now. You explain that when it makes sense, but I guess it would be good to show.
It's no problem. If you are using Visual Studio 2019 69 or higher, and you need to have installed the .NET 5 SDK or greater, then you're ready to go. No matter if you are on full framework or .NET Core or .NET 5 or .NET 6 or something. The only thing is the tooling has to be Visual Studio 2019.9 or 22 as I'm using right now, and at least .NET 5 SDK, because with .NET 5 SDK, Roslyn got the feature to load source generators from NuGet. That's everything you need.
Great,
so
thanks for that.
Basically, that's the thing. So now we are able to write a whole layout in code. Let's do just a quick editor dot first name, editor dot last name. Okay, let's group them together, for example, with a horizontal group, and then group them together like this. Let's do this full name, and then say horizontal group editor dot. Let's take what do we have here? Address, now phone. Let's take phone. Okay. So basically, just reiterates on what we already know. There are a lot of overloads, how to do grouping and tabs and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to dive too deep into all that API stuff. But there's one thing I want to, because you can see there's tons of overloads that are designed to write really concise and nice layout code. But there's one thing I wanted to show. So you can see, it's good to do. So okay, that's basically fine. So what I'm going to do now is like something I really dreamed of long time, and that is hot reload. For the people that don't know hot reload, it's basically edit and continue framework. Edit and continue is a feature since .NET 2, I guess, or something like this, where you can change code inside when you're in a debugging session on the fly. And that means you can hit a breakpoint, change your code, and use and drag your breakpoint to a point where it re-evaluates your code. Now with .NET 6, Microsoft decided, hey, that's a cool feature. Why don't we build it in the whole product? And I'm just going to add a feature, add a registration, and that's the controller types.
Manuel, in the meantime, while you're doing that, there is one more question. It's like, is the hot reload feature working for all the platforms, or is only for some of them?
Yes.
So it will work for Blazor, web forms, and Windows forms at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't work for Blazor at the moment because there are some issues in XAF itself. It would work technically, but currently only WinForms is supported for hot reload. And it works with .NET 6 and or full framework. The only thing is it works for full framework, but it doesn't work for automatic refresh. So I will show this in a minute. So basically everything I'm doing is like, okay, use Xenial Windows Form controllers here, like the dropped-in replacement like before. And now let's just try it out. And the main reason why it doesn't work on full framework is, out of the box, is there is a runtime feature in .NET 6 that allows you to detect a change from the compiler. And this API just doesn't exist. But the replacing of the EL code at runtime is working. So just look here. It's like, open it. I just wanted to do a screenshot. Okay, here is hot reload enabled. If everybody can see this. So this is a controller that marks the application. We got hot reload enabled. And that means now we can open our view and open our class and our builder. I'm just going to want to go there. No, wrong one, here. Okay, watch closely. I'm hitting save. And nothing happens.
Demo effect. The demo gods are angry at us.
Demo gods!
Yes.
Why are you failing? Why are you failing? No! Why is it failing? Why are you failing? That is shit.
Yeah, I mean, you know that I have that kind of problem with the hot reload stuff, that the sensation that you got while you're modifying code while it's running, you always have this idea like if it's getting compiled or not, you know.
No, that's weird shit. That shouldn't happen. Let's try again. At least it did address one. Let's try again. Oh, I know. I know. I disabled hot reload. No, it's enabled. Why are you not cooperating? It cooperated before. Output. Nothing. Okay, just let's stop this real quick. Let's go into, maybe if because I have another session running. Can't think about this. Let's try this one. Okay, basically I have here an application. That's the main demo from XAF. So let's open employee. It's the employee detail view. So let's go to the employee. No, it's dying. So code reload is enabled. Let's try again. Details. Item saved. Why it's not compiling? I'm sorry. It is. It should. If I go to reload view, it didn't recompile. Damn you! Let's try real quick. There's this hot reload button. That's a bummer.
Manuel, if you want, while you figure it out, I can show some. I have like 2 small demos for Blazor, and
Yeah, sure.
and then we'll come back to you. So mine
Sure.
are really small. It's like just like a snake preview of what we're doing in the office. So I will take over from here, and just let me know when you are ready to continue.
Sure.
It will take like 5 to 10 minutes, so it's going to be kind of really fast.
Yeah, then
So,
let's do my stop my.
Yeah, I will
screen,
start sharing. I will start sharing my screen. So tell me if you're seeing the studio.
Yeah.
My studio. Okay. Well, guys, so basically it's like we're working a lot in Blazor, as you all know. We believe it's the future actually, and we're aiming to basically focus all our efforts in Blazor, because like with Electron you can run Blazor as a desktop version basically. So at least all my personal development, the one that I do that is open source, is basically totally Blazor. I'm not doing anything on Windows Forms or web forms at the moment. So here I have like 2 small demos that I want to show you. Some of them will be part of Ultra, which is the open source framework that I have for SAS. And actually we will do a cleanup and a rewrite of Ultra, basically because we want everything to match with the new project structure. Like, like we come from the Net Framework project, which was bigger. So we're moving to the SDK type of project. So let me close this. This basically is it's an application that I'm working for my family, for my brother. He owns a business, he owns a marketing agency. So it will be used to automate campaigns for marketing. So let's run this for a second. And demo gas, I was using this like 2 weeks ago, working with my brother. And then I opened this morning and some stuff just crashed in front of me. So you know how it is, right? So let's start. And I was asking Manuel if his computer was like a virtual machine. And actually I'm running a virtual machine, so that's why it's a little bit slower. But I hope like it's like fast enough. Okay, so here you will see basically a mess on the navigation item. As you can see, I'm using a different template. This is not the normal one. The navigation is not on the left. is actually in this menu here. So the first one that I want to show is we have a web forms builder. So let me show you first the one that I already have built, and then we will build one from scratch, basically. So this is like a simple contact form with email and name. So let's open the other one. So let's go to forms and contact form 2. This is a little different. As you can see, you have here the like a header, a grouping, and then you have the mobile phone. So let's start one from the scratch, like a new one. So let's close all of these. Close and close. And let's create a new record. Okay, so as you can see, here is like, this is what we have from as the starting point, like from 0. So basically we have done a small customization here, like this will be like the toolbox on Visual Studio that you can pick which controls you want. We just create some basic controls at the moment, but you can actually create any type of customized basically control. So let's start with a layout, a small layout. So let's add some tabs. So let's add another tab. It will be my main info. This will be, the second tab will be details. I mean, I'm making up this at the moment. So this is how it's going to look like. So let's save it. And now we have 2 tabs here. And as you can see below, you can see the code that is being generated by the component, by this component. So this basically, the information is saved like in a JSON file somehow. So you can edit visually, or you can edit actually the JSON file. At this moment, we are using a simple text box editor for this case, but I will show that later that we have Monaco built in. Also, Monaco is the code editor that is used by Visual Studio Code. So at this moment, it's a formatted JSON, but it can be changed to have a full-fledged editor here. So let's drag some components, right? So a text field, and I want this text field to be named. The label position will be on top. See, here is the preview that we have. And basically, that's anything that I want. You can change the input marks, prefix, suffix, label, and even include. And you can also add like a different CSS class if you want. But at the moment, I will leave it as it is. And then you have some other properties where you can set how you will send the data to whatever is going to be processing the forms, validations, and some other logic. Like this is like really feature-rich control. So I'm just going to display the basic example. So let's save this. So see, this code is growing. So as a more control that I add, you will see more, the JSONs getting bigger. So then let's add maybe a phone number. And I will leave it as it is. But what I'm going to do, and what I kind of really like about this, is that whatever control we're showing in here, even though they are not DevExpress components, they are picking up on the theme. So for example, if I save this, and if I select a different theme, everything will match exactly with the DevExpress components, even though I repeat, this is not a DevExpress component at all. But since we're sharing the bootstrap classes for this, when we change the theme, it will change basically our form. So actually, most of the time I use this one that I kind of really like. I don't know why, because I guess I used to use this tool to make wireframes. I don't remember the name. It's an Italian framework.
Balsamic.
What?
It's balsamic.
Well, I don't recall at all the name of that,
Yeah.
but I kind of love this look. And well, like you can make as bigger form as you want, and you have tabs or all type of stuff for the layout. You can even have stuff for like captchas and stuff like that. For example, like a file upload. So as you can see, it can get as complex as you want. And here you have like some tools, like if you want to move this on the layout, if you want to go and check the settings or reset it, or if you want just to copy the control, you can do this and then you paste it or remove it, of course. And then you have the detail here. You can add some other stuff. Let's add, I don't know what else to add, so I will add an email here. And the other thing that I wanted to show you is that there is a good communication between the visual designer and the source that is being generated. Because, for example, see, you have like here main info and details. So here you have that code, right? So here's main info, and then you have the details. So it's nested, right? So what I'm going to do is a small demo, like a really simple demo. So this will be called personal information, and let's hope the demo gods are with me in this case. So I will
You
move
missed
here.
you missed a quote at the beginning.
Thanks, Manuel. So let's try to save this. See, and now it's refreshing. So you're editing the JSON file and you're getting that output exactly on the UI. So far, this is what I want to show for the builder, but we have a small functionality that is like the preview form. So this is rendered as it should look like for the end user. And this is, I thought I just fixed this, but I didn't. This is supposed to be hidden in some cases, and this text supposed to not show in here. But anyway, what I wanted to show is that these forms, when you submit them, they generate a JSON for you and send that JSON somewhere. So if you have a web API, you can catch that JSON and just process it as you want it. Or in this case, I mean, we are mixing this with the Gene virtual machine that we have created. I have showed the Gene machine several times in the meetup. So because I kind of love scripting. So in this case, for example, let's say that we're seeing the preview. This is what the end user will see, and they will fill, of course, right? So for name, Jose Manuel, Spanish name. This is my real name. It's not Jorge. So Jose Manuel Ojeda Melgar. And believe it or not, my parents both have 3 names and 3 last names. So this is the short version of my name. And then let's see, phone number. Let's get anyone. I mean, I don't have that number anymore, like since like 6 years ago or something like that. So let's just delete those invalid numbers there. And as you can see here, the validation is kicking in. So let's hold on. I cannot demo effect. So I cannot clear this, or my keyboard is not working at the moment. But anyway, so I will cancel this and I will show the preview again. So let's just set the name. Oh, it's my keyboard that was not working. Yes. Yes, now it's working. So name, Jose. Okay, and phone number. So I will fill it completely. See, the validation was kicking in. But the beauty about this is that when you submit, you will see the JSON that was produced by the form. So in here, it will give you all the information about the form plus the values of the form. So you can go and grab that JSON somewhere else and process it as you want. You decide what to do with it. So I think it's kind of a neat functionality if you want to add custom forms.
May I ask a question? So basically, this is like you're creating a form on the fly or in the database, and then you got this JSON information, JSON blob, and then it's like it is a little bit decoupled from from XAF.
It's
So
totally
it's
decoupled from the model. It's like you don't have to have a business object that represents this. It's a custom form. So they will produce a
but
JSON.
you can send this to an arbitrary controller, for example, in ASP.NET
There
Core.
are a few ways that we will basically add functionality to this. The first way is sending this to the same SAF API, because as you know, guys, SAF released a new API that basically all your business model is exposed as a open API, I think. And so you have like all the methods for the CRUD and so on and so forth. So we have not explored that way, even though we know it's possible, because the first version sent this to an API. Remember that I show like a middleware API, like in the first versions of Blazor. So it's not the same one as Developer Express is providing at the moment. So we want to add compatibility for that, but that is not done yet on their side. So we're waiting for it, because we don't want to put a lot of effort in that and then just throw it to, to the archive of forgotten code. So So this is one of the functionalities, but the one that I really like in the end is, again, this is like everyone knows the fixation that I have with the scripting, right? So the main idea here will be something like this. Let's see if we have here the component. So we'll have a form component in general, which is a mix of, here's the code that generates the form, right? But in here you can associate these with basically with one of the scripts that we have created. These are the names of the scripts. So for example, so that will receive the JSON as an input parameter, and then in the script you do whatever you want. And as I showed before, you can use the object space, you can create objects, you can do whatever you want. So it's a really big mix, because it can provide you with basically runtime applications. You drag and drop some stuff, you match it to the right script.
It's like
and
like
then
the
you have like a dynamic application.
It's like the world creator, but a little bit on steroids, but a little bit more flexible.
It's like on steroids without having steroids inside, because we have not modified that much the circle of stuff, or none at all. It's really not invasive. And actually, in the scripting, you can spin up a new data layer, update and then just create a database for this form. So you can go crazy deep. When I start making this design, it's like, yes, I don't have to write anything on design time anymore. I can do like 90% of runtime if I want. Of course, that's not the purpose, but it's really interesting to know how deep or how far you can go with a tool like this.
We should pair up on this, because I found the button.
No, and also what I wanted to show, that is like the other part of this, is, and this it was inspired actually by Manuel here. Let's see where is the object. So ultra function. So this is paired with the ultra function. So I showed the gene property-ator before, and so that's called now ultra function. So for example, we include Monaco editor. So basically, we can include everything that is included on the Monaco editor from VS Code. It works online. I have some just kind of silly stuff to show here, like changing the contrast, changing the the theme, and this also match with the theme from the SAF application. So see, like the buttons are changing and everything. I don't know why the code is not being highlighted at the moment. I guess because I changed the theme so many times. But anyway, it's like, here you write your function that will receive the JSON file, and you can do as many crazy stuff as you want. So I will stop this for a second, because I want to show the highlighting and everything, because I try to do that with the built-in rich text editor and stuff like that. It was possible to do it in Windows forms, but not in Blazor or web forms. You can just apply the coloring stuff at one moment. So that was not what I wanted. So in the end, I decided to go with Monaco. The only thing that this is pure Blazor. So there is no there are no versions of this module for Windows Form, just later, because of course this is an open source project and we're always running out of time. I mean, there is no programmer who have like a bunch of time to do nothing. So I'm trying to put as much time as I can from my personal time in this case to have the full implementation. The form builder will not be open source, but the code editor will be open source. So it will be part of Ultra in general. So when we finish the cleanup in Ultra, and we have the new layout of the projects and the solution how we want it, we will release this on open source. And don't ask me when it's going to be updated, because as any open source stuff, you need more hands, right? So just let me show you the highlighting of in the code, and then we can move back to manual demonstration. I'm just making some time. So here, for example, this one. And see, now we have the highlighting. And everything that works in Monaco is working in here. I have not implemented all the functions, but for example, you can see, okay, for example, this is a function that we're just calling. We are just calling this function that is defined in here. And you can do stuff like in the studio, like for example, go to definition. And you go up and highlight that I didn't create that code. That's part of Monaco in the end. And
that's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, you can show the command palette, and you can, for example, the command palette will be something like CodeRush for me in this case, but we cannot have CodeRush because it can create a little piece of snippets that we have already created. I have not included any snippet at the moment. I was working on that like 2 weeks ago, but then we had a lot of other things to do. So the combination of the Ultra functions and the form editor, if you put them together, it gives you a really, really powerful tool to do a lot of stuff in runtime. And this came as a requirement from my brother, because when you work for marketing, and I don't know if any one of you have done a project for advertising or marketing, they give you the requirements at midnight and it needs to be published in the morning. So, and you need to change it in hot, basically. So there is no time to recompile, redeploy. You need to be able to do this, all of this stuff in the application running. So my brother used to tell me like, let's make a system for this, let's make a system for that. And as soon as I did the first version, it was not like that anymore. So I got like super tired of working with him because the requirement always changed like every 2 minutes. And that's every customer in general. It's not like just my brother, but. So I came up with this kind of clever solution to, okay, I will make scripts and form for you as much as you want, and I don't have to recompile anymore. And I can even create a new data layer there, or as many data layers as I want, just to save whatever objects that we're creating through the forms. So that's basically my 2 cents for today. Manuel, how are you? Like, should we continue?
Yep, we can continue. That okay. Stuff is really, 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 really awesome.
And I inspired by you actually.
Yeah, but I think we should get together on that kind of stuff and
I need contributor for Ultra. If anyone wants to give me a hand with cleaning up, making demos and stuff like that, there are only like 5 modules, but I think they're really useful. So I will put a call for the community later on that.
I think they are really, really valuable pieces of code, and I think it depends on what you want to achieve. Of course, at every stage.
It's like an IDE in the end. It's like go crazy, do as many crazy stuff as you want, and actually you can go really, really crazy with this.
Yeah, the thing is, what do you want to achieve? And if you have like such a dynamic environment where every time, every day requirements change, and
the thing is that for in this case, I'm doing this for advertising, so we want to be able to get information from a new campaign without having to rebuild our application. That was the problem before. Is that every time you need to update the model, the database to deploy. So.
That's a thing I never thought of XAF is really good at, like use it as a core and then do this kind of additions on top of XAF and do like marketing campaigns and so, like it's reaching out into the public and you have like this small snippets of code.
Basically, all of this, Manuel, started from this idea. It's like I wrote the guys to Developer Express like, hey, I want to move my personal blog from WordPress to SAF itself because I don't want to be handling all PHP plugins that, you know, like the plugin mess up that, yes, I update this, but that the other one didn't release the new version and started crashing everywhere, so I don't touch my blog for that. I wanted to show pieces of code and stuff that, okay, I just create a proper creator. I just want to include it in my own blog, right? And I don't want to rebuild and everything. So the idea came from that. I bothered Gosha and Dennis and everyone in the support center for this, asking crazy questions. And as always, they're truly, truly helpful. And they give me examples, another reference from other tickets. So, you know, those guys are great. And I really appreciate their effort on this. So I will stop talking because otherwise I will go crazy with this. So back to you, Manuel.
Okay.
You can start sharing again.
Okay. So that was the mind-blowing demo I saw a long time. So let me share my screen again. I am back, and the only thing I was missing was one button, but that's demo goals. That was the thing. That's Balsamic. It's awesome.
Balsamic was the
yeah, that's a wireframing tool. It's really cool. I used it a lot in the past. It's really, really cool. And the neat thing is, like, it looks like it's it's a wireframing, or it looks like it isn't finished, and that's the nice thing about it. So if you're working with clients that don't have a real sense how long something may take, or just it's making clear that it's just a prototype. And I'm not paid by Balsamic. It's just showing you, if I can show something like this to a customer, he feels like, okay, it may like look something like this, but it's not the final product.
No, and it's also good to, I mean, to not, you know, to have like the core idea. You want to have something simple, because if you have something too real, they will think it's a real application. They will start asking for functionality. So it's like, hey guys, this is a drawing. It's like in a paper, but in the screen. So
and that's why we now dive really into real things.
Yeah,
that's basically our imagination. And now we are jumping into write code. So we have our idea, we have our basic layout, and if I switch to the code, if Windows 11 is cooperating, the only thing I was missing is there is the hot reload button. And of course, I was into hot reload a lot of months right now, and there is this hot reload on save. And if I hit this hot reload on save button, you can see it's like hot reload, restart application, hot reload on file save, and there's the settings page. And now let's get into hot reload. And now you can see there's full name, first name, last name, file, and phone. And now just come here and to editor email. Thank you, Visual Studio. And I will hit save. And here in the corner down below, you will see item save, and now it should code change. And it broke again. No, it isn't. Here it is. Let's do it again. I'm deleting this. Here's email. I'm saving. Look.
Oh,
No
nice.
else. It's gone. And if I do that back again, and I have hit save. Whoa, it's here. So what does this mean? We can build a whole layout at runtime. No, or not at runtime. It's like building a layout compile time, like it would be forever, but we have like the real application with the real data, like with Manuel. And I'm just import doing stuff like here, and you can ping me on okay, just save this. Okay, that's the real data, and I'm switching, and it's like instant. Okay, so what does this mean for our code? So I really just missed that one button. So I am going to copy some code from no here. La 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 la. I'm going to copy this whole bunch of shit. It's a lot of code, but it should. Okay, that seems fine. No, wrong one. This one. Let me save it. No, okay.
It looks like
Sure.
you're missing some namespaces.
Yeah, no, that's not the problem. The problem is, we can minimize this for now. The problem is, we have like person, and person has like a group, and there's an editor and an image and all that kind of stuff. But the problem is we want to display stuff from, I'm not going to do a lot of, we need to display stuff from address 1 and address 2. And address 1 and address 2 are just properties of person. And normally we use expand object members to deal with this. And what is going is like doing address one dot, and then what is called dot type, dot street, dot city, dot, and so on and so forth. And the problem is we can't access this, because when we look at layout builder, and that's the first time I'm jumping into source generators. Anyway, that's all the source Xenial is generating for you. You can see there's a constant for every field, and then you have like the property editors. But if we want to access nested properties, we need to tell Xenial to use this. So you're using Xenial dot expand member, like before with the expand object members. It's like Xenial expand member, and now we can use the already generated constants. So constants dot, and we want to expand address 1, and we also want to expand address 2, and I didn't even save so far. And you now can see there's a whole lot of code generated just for those two types. And now I just have to import the namespace, and I'm ready to go and start the shit. Takes a couple of seconds on my machine right now. That looks neat. Okay, let's open that up. Okay, we are here. And now we have here and here. So basically, we now have a whole view or data view generated. But now with hot reload, we can really, now we have to wait a little second, and now bam. Now we have hot reload enabled. And okay, that works fine for layouts so far. But what about options for the detail view? So we can go and say new detail view options, or new if you're using the latest features. For example, allow, let's say, enable group layout images is true. Okay. Doesn't do much. Let's do, okay, image name, like BO_person. No, of course, we made a mistake because there's a comma missing. Save it. Bang it. And now we have an image here. So you can mix and work on the layout like it would be in the designer, but it's in your application at runtime with the data you're working on.
Actually, that's super neat, Manuel, in the sense that I'm not like I almost never ever use the model editor, the visual editor. In general, I use the node generator updaters, which is more like a cumbersome approach. I mean, you can still do almost the same as you did, but with a lot more code. And
yes.
I mean a lot. And also you don't have the reload, the hot reload.
And you have to reload. And and now we're or for example, I just
I have one question, Manuel. Sorry that I cut you off. This comes from my side, actually, not from the chat. And it's like, which model are you generating in this case? Is that the agnostic model? I mean, updating the layout in the agnostic model or in the Windows Forms model?
No. Okay. From a technical perspective, everything you write here is totally
agnostic.
It doesn't care if it's WinForms or Blazor.
So basically, you can do this like the hot reload using the Windows version just to figure it out visually, and then just from the Blazor version, and you will have the same structure in the layout.
Yes, the basic thing is like hot reload just works in WinForms because there are limitations in Blazor right now. It will work in the future. There is a ticket open at DevExpress, and they didn't counter this problem right now because hot reload is quite rather new. But the thing is, everything you can write in Xenial layouts is basically platform agnostic. diving into platform agnostic code is out of the scope for this demo, because there are some things that are different. Because you can, for example, write this whole layout completely for WinForms, and then you will have WinForms specific stuff. But it's not the goal. It's the goal to be as agnostic as possible, and then, for example, have visitors and stuff like this to change bits and bytes here and there. But the main idea is like, okay, do 90% in code and do little tweaks in the XAFer, and that will solve more than 80% of the troubles you have in larger teams.
Yeah, actually, to tell you the truth, I will use that approach, because it's like, for me, if I cannot touch the model editor at all, I'm happy with it. Not because I have something against that.
Just to give you an example, this is the main demo, and the main demo, it's really, let me, where's the demo? Here it is. This is the demo that is like the main demo clone from XAF that got delivered with every release. Let me stop real quick the other one, the community stand-up thing, because we are jumping into columns real quick. But the thing is, this is the main demo, and I tried to rewrite the whole demo without a single line of XAFer. Okay, this is the new one, or the XAF one. Okay, here it is. And now I am having here over here the main demo, and it's rewritten, and I am opening this with XML editor, and you can see there is like, okay, there is stuff there. It's getting lesser and lesser and lesser, but we are on 160 lines of code. And most of them are just code I didn't port it yet. So it's not that I can't port it. It's just most of the code is like nothing. It is isn't ported. So let's switch to. Let me open that location.
Manuel, just to give you a heads up with the time. Depending, so you can manage depending what you want to show or not. Like around 20 more minutes, and from that, like 10, 20 will be usable for you, because I want to leave like 10 minutes for questions in the end. So make your time there, what you want to show or what you think is more important.
Okay.
Something else.
But however, there is like 600 or 1,000 lines of XAFer code to generate the layouts for like employee list view and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of XAFer code. And what I wanted to show is like, good here, there's the Solution Explorer. It is like, every class has like a column builder and the layout builder, and it's like it's a small amount of code. Like when we compare it, so can we do this like this? Okay, one is in German and one is in English, but I think. I hate Windows 11 sometimes. Come over. So, and you can see it's basically a clone. And here the only thing that differs is like I have enabled images here, and if I switch over to the studio and hide summer preview, and I say okay, it's false, and I hit save, bam, it's exactly the same, besides some relative sizes and the language. So basically, the thing that enables you is like iterate quickly on layouts or stuff like this in your application, on your real data. And what I'm going to show you now, it's like it's the same idea, but it's based on columns, and columns is the same thing. Like let's stop this. I don't think I need the main demo anymore. Let's do the community thing. No, wrong window. Let's close this down so my computer can relax a little bit. So we saw how to build a layout with hot reload, but we can do the same thing with columns. So do a column list view columns. If I can type columns, thank you, builder, thank you. And then of course I need to do a columns builder. I need another class for that, and go and add another class, add class. Thank you. And we have again a public partial columns builder. The person. Okay, then we again need columns of build columns. Of course, this works again with lookup list views, but then it would be called build lookup columns. But for now, it's fine. So, and then I just can say, okay, column, and I'll say first name, last name. Now, let's make this awesome. Just started. And then I just wanted to show 2 or 3 minutes more of the other stuff that's really awesome and really helpful. This is like the holy grail of being able to introspect how our model code looks like versus what will be represented on the screen. Okay. Oh, of course, I forgot something really, really important. Because I only told Xenial, use the detail view builders, use the list view builders as well, or the color builders. Normally you're going to add Xenial and then add Xenial module and you're done, like Xenial all. But because we are slicing here, feature slicing. But here we go with first name. Let's do column last name, save. First time Takes a couple of seconds, at least on my machine.
One question, Manuel, is like, since this is basically code, it means that somehow it can be data-driven, if it's needed, of course.
Yeah, of course, it could be data-driven, but it is like a declarative syntax for a thing, but you could do like if-else stuff here.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I mean, this phrase I got it from you. It's only code. So
it's only code.
code.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
This is, but basically it's like first name, last name. Okay, do another column, phone number, for example, or email. Save it. The second, it's now instantly there. Let's do a with expression. Now we're in record syntax. Then you can deep dive into documentation. For example, do the width of 50, for example. Save it. Then we're seeing immediate response. What it should look like. And if I go over to the documentation, and for example, for the source generator syntax, everything is documented. And if I, for example, you can, for example, do introduce list view specific stuff, because all we did so far is like defining columns, but we also have list view options, so that are only visible to applicable to the list view. So, for example, is the caption, is the group header visible, the auto filter row, for example, false, bam, it's gone, or hey, it's back, or with grouping and all the kind of stuff. And the same thing I showed before, like with the Xenial expand member, also works here. So that's the neat stuff about where's my no, I think my window died. But that's the thing about column builders and layout builders and source generators. But the neat thing about source generators, I think, in my opinion, is they are much more capable of doing stuff on the long run, because if my window will cooperate with me. So there are like a couple of source generators built in. And a lot of time you are going to need or having a hard time working with all the conventions that are built into XAF. So let me do a quick recap of view IDs, image names, and XPO builders. We can go into that. View IDs is a really interesting one, because if you have a partial class, needs to be partial, and then you generate it with Xenial view IDs, it will pick up any object or any class inside that assembly that is persistent, non-persistent, or a domain object. And what it will generate is like a person detailed view, a person list view, a person lookup list view, an addresses list view, detailed view, lookup list view. So it's basically following the same conventions that XAF provides. And the neat thing is you can use that in your attributes, for example. If you have like model default or model exported, let's say, or do it like XAF display name, or do it XAF display name. XAF display name. I can't type. Or it's display name. Yeah. And then you can view these and then use the constant inside an attribute. What you can't do with model node ID helpers, for example. But the neater thing, I guess. Okay, it's not valid on this side. But for example, there's another one, and it's called image names. And the image names also is like public or internal, partial. And now you can define it as Xenial image names. So where are the images coming from? Of course, they are coming from the images directory. Like it is, but currently there are no images, so image names is empty. But the only thing we need to do is I'm going here and I am just going and copy some images from my image project. For example, what's it called? System. No. The O collection. So O collection. No, wrong. PNG. Let's go for the office ones. I'm just picking some images and I'm just copying them in. Okay, we're going to delete this one because it starts with a 3 and it's not a valid C# identifier. I'm working on that, but right now nothing happened. Image names is just image names. But what we need to tell Xenial is like, okay, we have an embedded resource, or better, we have an item group, and it's Xenial image names, and it's include everything inside images, star.png. Okay, and now, bam! We have every image that is inside our images folder as a constant, so we can use it. But what is even more awesome is we can add options like resource accessors, true, and the neat thing is smart comments. Okay, I hit save, and now, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, extensions, tools. Where's CodeRush? Let me real quick.
In extensions, I guess. I mean, that menu always move for me.
Let me install CodeRush, and then we are finished for today.
Actually, Manuel, like we have like at least just like 15 minutes left. So I will start with some questions in the meantime while you do that.
Yeah, we can go for
guys,
questions.
the chat is open for questions if you want to add any questions, and I will tell it to Manuel. And also I have some of questions of my own already. I even prepared a file for that. So I will just ask from the kind of easiest one to the hardest one. So how do we test drive Xenial? How do we get it as SAF users? What is the step? Should I add a special NuGet feed? Is it NuGet org? What is the process to test drive Xenial as a user?
What do we need to install or use Xenial? Just go to docs.xenial.io. So I'm going to docs.xenial.io. Everything is described here. What you need to do, where are some pitfalls, what you need to reference. I didn't get into model builders at all today. You can just install it. It is at that version that is officially published at that moment. Currently, it is free of charge, I think, until mid of the year.
Okay, so it's still like basically an CTP type of version at the moment.
It is still at CTP. Afterwards, it will be at a really, I think, good pricing.
Okay. Actually, my questions go related to that because it's more about how we get Xenial to the XAF users. So this question is been already asked, and I guess you already answered that somehow. But anyway, I will ask anyway. So what's the compatibility? You said that as soon as a new version of XAF is released, soon, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, the new version of Xenial will be there for that version of XAF. Because that's the problem when you have like these custom frameworks over the framework, that you move to the latest XAF version, and then what happened with my code, right? Like whatever I did in Xenial, for example, or
if you have any troubles, normally Xenial is designed to be backwards and forwards compatible. Sometimes I need to step back a little bit and dive into some XAF components that aren't compatible or available at the time. If you look at the pricing range or at the pricing scale, it's like the non-profit individual ones it's always supported for the latest 2 versions. If you need a special version, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Just speak to me. It's no problem to support a later version or an earlier version if you need to stay back on an older version.
Okay, so let's go for the next question, Manuel. Does it come with source code? I mean, if you get any of the packages, for example, the individual, company, or whatever package you get only the NuGet version, basically the binary,
Xenial itself is open source. You can look at the source code. It's everything there. You can grab it on Xenial.io, GitHub, Xenial.io, Xenial framework. Everything is open source. But I have to warn you, it is just open source. It's not free.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I mean, because it's like, you show the source, but it's not free to use. Those are 2 different concepts, actually. You can be open source and not free to use. MySQL is that case, for example.
It is. You could use it for free, but I am not happy with it. If I see bits or binaries released outside the scope of educational context, you have to pay for it. I have to live from something.
Yeah, of course. That's the kind of main problem of the open source. You release something because you want to give to the community, but then some people depend on that, and then it's your work to fix it. So of course you need to live from that. And I can tell you for sure, because I have a few open source projects that I wanted to just give that code that I have to the community, but to maintain it through time and to follow the cases, the use cases, the support cases, it takes time. I mean, you can basically die penniless if you support all your open source ideas, right? So I kind of understand the
licensing.
Yeah, the licensing thing.
About licensing, it is zero proprietary. It just means if you are using it for a private, personal project, go for it. It's no problem. But if you are using it commercial, in any case, you get a 30 days trial, and then you at least need to reach out to me.
Yeah, perfect.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And then the next question, all of this come from my side actually, is where do you buy it? I guess you show already the page. I was checking that page also on your website.
Yeah. The thing is, the buying page is still not online because of it's functional. It's not legal. It's not official legal online. If you need a license, just grab out to me.
Reach out to you.
Yeah. The thing is,
how can we reach out for you, Manuel? Like, can you give your contact information, like your site, your blog, and everything?
At any other channel like Skype but basically the best thing you can do is just write me on n.grundner@delegate.at or just leave me a comment in Skype, Facebook, GitHub chat or something like this.
I guess we'll put a link to your information in the description of the video because, of course, all of these stand-up goes to YouTube in the end, so we can put your contact information there.
Yeah. Basically, but the pricing is kind of moderate. $50 a month is for everything that's included. So if you want to go a little bit cheaper,
we got a question regarding actually that, because and I also have this question, is like, it looks like the individual version is more expensive than the company version, because I guess one is paid by year.
Yes, it is.
Monthly.
It is because the individual one is a little bit more expensive. It's 10% exactly more expensive, because this is 500 a dev a year, and this is 500 a dev a month.
Yeah. I know, because you have to do as a developer, usually, especially if you're a solo developer, you don't want to put so much money into the future, right? It's like I will get it like bond my bond in that sense.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is royalty free. You can use it at as many projects as you like. I am not charging at any point. It is per dev a month, and if you can't get the money up front, like $500 is $500, then you pay me 50, and you will still get all the support and all the stuff. But the only thing is, you don't have that much of company grade support that you need if you have like 10 or 20 developers, because normally your projects are small, and then you don't have to deal with all that support stuff that much. So
actually, I figured out that before I asked you, but I wanted to have like a clear answer for you, for the community.
I want just show the last.
Yeah, perfect, because we're out.
100 Palmer. Let me just start with the studio and see if we get.
Yeah, because basically all the questions are done. We're just waiting for your last demo, and then we get the goodbye for the for today.
I hope, and of course I could demo Xenial for 5 hours more. There's a lot to show, like token editors, WebView 2. There's a lot of editor stuff going on. Installers.
Actually, we can do like maybe another live, because we used to do Twitch, but we don't do anymore. So maybe just get together with the other guys from the community, or the other MVPs, for example, or the community friends, and then do some live coding, of course.
The thing is, I just wanted to show the real new hotness that was going on the last 4 months. Source generators are a huge thing, and that's basically my last 4 months was like working on source generators. And just realizing how we can reimagine how to write source code for XAF without having to rely on reflection and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
it's getting better and
it's
better
about
and better.
breaking the mirror, right? Because reflection is
it's getting more into like a reimagined way of reflection.
Yeah, and the thing is that, but the thing, I've been researching about code generation in general, but you need to rewire your mind, because when you've been doing reflection for too long,
there it is.
Icons.
There it is. So you know what.
Yeah, and it's a strong type also, so it's good. That's amazing. That's an amazing feature, Manuel.
If this isn't appealing to anybody that is used to code, it's like the little thing where we can see the color inside the IDE editor.
Yeah.
Like 2555000. There is the red box. That's exactly the same thing.
It's the same concept, right? But with images in this case.
Yeah. And Code Rush, this is an awesome feature.
Yeah. No, I love it actually. I use it a lot to have notes on my or diagrams of my ideas in the code.
And because I love airships, I want to do one thing. Let's do this image name. If my IDE is image name, if it's cooperating, I called it image names dot airship. Is it? No, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's start it.
Just cross your finger for the demo guys to behave well in this last demo. You know how they are, right?
I hope they are. Basically, if it's compiling, I'm happy.
Yeah. When I saw the intelligence kicking in and the colors kicking in, I thought, well, that will work. That will work.
The real problem is my machine is almost dying.
Yeah, that's why you need to
poor surface.
Javier always tell me, Jose, how many times you format per year? It's like, well, I used to do it like every 2 weeks or something like that, like long time ago when I was like in my 20s. Now, I do it like once or twice per year.
Is there something I missed? No, I didn't miss. No. Editors, of course, there are a lot of business grade modules that help with other stuff like search module, file preview, all the kind of stuff that's getting better and better over the site. It's flexible, it's reasonable pricing. You only need to license the stuff you really need. I forgot to show this. That's like choose individual components so you can decide what you want. So the cheapest one is $10 a month. Again, you can everything with hard support will be more expensive. Let me just do that. Here's the person icon, so I'm not failing totally with my airship. I want the airship. So where is my layout builder? Bang into the layout builder. Do it this side. Airship. Now, here, airship. Go for it.
No, but still, I see the person.
There is the airship.
There you go.
There's the airship. It looks like a bomb, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, you need to see it closer to realize it's an airship, but it's an airship actually. So, Manuel, I just wanted to thank you for your time for the presentation. It was amazing. I guess we'll have to do a part 2 because there is so much to show, because we've been talking with you many times on Javier about how Xenial works, what are the features, like what the community would like to see. For example, the hot reload was amazing. So with this, like, let's close the session. Like, if everyone wants to turn on the camera, I always take the picture for the stand-up. So this will be the first stand-up of the year. So let's like turn on the cameras to put it in the group. So let's see. Manuel, can you stop sharing so we can get everyone
sure.
on? And let's see. Just let's cross this gallery view. And okay, guys. So it was great to have you. And that's the first meetup of the year. So see you guys on the next stand-up. We're looking forward to see you. And if you have any questions, just send us an email. Our information is all over Facebook. So thanks for coming. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.